Hi there. In my quest to find products that work best with leather bags, I've been doing some experiments, and I wanted to share with you what I've discovered. First of all, the type of leather I tested on was scraps from this piece of natural leather, and I do not know what, other than it's veg tan, which I'm 99% sure it's veg tan. I don't know if it's been treated. It has a very raw, natural, as if you bought it from the tannery field. There is a little bit of a glaze to it, so I don't know if that's from the finishing process or if it's something that's been applied, but I think it is pretty much what you would consider a raw, natural piece of leather for leather workers to use. And then it would be made to accept dyes and things like that. So it hasn't been overly processed. So I cut some scraps and I tried several different products. The one product I didn't have that I purchased was the Openoffs, and this is heavy duty LP leather preservative. One of my favorites, my go-tos, has always been the Feebings Aussie. I'm also trying Mink Oil and Survivor's Beeswax leather protector. I believe I got this at Walmart. And Kiwi saddle soap. And I'm going to be trying Leather Honey as a cleaner. I'll tell you more about this later. And there are two things that I did to damage after treatment. One was a water test, and one is a hand sanitizer test. And this is an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. I do not recommend any of these products for saddleback leather type of leather. It has that sort of rough, natural feel to it, not any kind of smoothness. And these products are all oily based. I mean, I don't know if they're oil based, but they have like that Vaseline or lip balm sort of feel to them, and they will change the texture of saddleback type leather. So on saddleback bags, only use your Chamberlains and follow their instructions. This is not that type of leather. Okay, before trying this on a bag, please do a test patch. Every piece of leather is different. How it will react to these products is different. So please do a test patch on your bag in an inconspicuous spot, if you can find one, to see if these products work the way you expect them to. Now, I was very unscientific on this. I mean, I tried to be scientific by labeling everything and taking pictures, but I found that to do it truly scientific is pretty time consuming. And if you forget to do one thing exactly the same as you did it before, you can't get a repeat result. And so, this is just me playing around. And so you can take this information for what it's worth. So the first one I tried is the Openoffs, and I put it on a test patch, and I'm going to insert some pictures in here that show my process a little bit. I did apply it 2 times to this test patch. All of these products altered the color of the natural leather. They each altered it differently, but pretty much every product except the saddle soap had the same sort of deepening golden effect to the leather, and they were, in my mind, a pleasant sort of alteration, but you would need to decide that for yourself. So on the Openoffs, after 2 coats with a dry time between, when water was applied, it beat it up, but if not wiped off immediately, it did leave spots. The Mink Oil, where's my Mink Oil? This is a Soft Sole brand Mink Oil. It also altered the color. There was a dry time, water beat it up, it left spots. It was similar to the Openoffs. Thebings had a 12-hour dry time. It performed similar to the other products that I've talked about so far, but the color is non-uniform. So if you apply a little more in one area and then it spreads around, you'll get sort of a darker color in the area that got more product. It performed well. I like the Thebings. Beeswax, similar to all the others, altered color. The water penetrated more quickly with the beeswax, but it does wipe off. If left to dry, if the water is left to dry, it will leave a mark. It initially had the best performance for size, color, noticeability of the mark. When I tried to repeat the experiment, I made a mistake and I only applied it once before applying the water, and so it didn't beat up or it didn't protect as well. So the key on these that I've talked about so far is 2 applications. So far, everything I've shown you, I would say 2 applications is necessary. I interrupt this program with a special announcement. I have a new channel. My husband and I bought a van and we are building it out into a camper. And if you want to follow along with us as we have fun and frustration with this project, hop over there and take a look at my new channel. The link is below. Now, back to the leather. Okay, the water test, like I said before, everything performed similar except this one, the saddle soap. Let me stop this right here and let you know that I was using this product completely raw. Saddle soap is not a protector, it is a soap. You are supposed to mix it with water and it basically washes leather. It does not protect leather. So everything I say about saddle soap on here, you can completely disregard because I was using the product incorrectly. Everything spotted and nothing would clean up to my satisfaction afterwards. I vividly remember my dad often saying, especially if I bought a baseball glove or something, you need to wipe that down with saddle soap. So I hear this in my head, wipe that down with saddle soap. The results of the water drop experiment were, with 2 coats of each of these 4 products, the water beaded up immediately, could be wiped off, didn't leave a mark, or a very faint one. If the water was left on there to dry, and I just let it dry, I didn't wipe it off after an hour, I didn't wipe it off after 30 minutes, I just let it dry. They all had watermarks. However, beeswax was the initial best performer, but I would say it's between, well, they're all really pretty much the same. Now, the hand sanitizer test, I placed a spot on each sample and wiped it off after 30 seconds. Those 4 performed well. Saddle soap worst. I mean, no surprises in this. Then when I went back to all the samples and I cleaned them, and this works for the water spots as well, cleaned them with diluted leather honey. And you get this, the dilution instructions are on the bottle. So it's kind of expensive, but it makes into a bunch because you dilute it with water. So I cleaned it with this, let it dry, and then reapplied each of the products to their section, and all of them improved. The beeswax 1 coat did leave a mark that is not visible when you look straight on at the piece, but if you tilt it, you can tell it's duller. It's like the alcohol took a sheen off. So that's important to know. The hand sanitizer didn't really do the same to the others that I tried. Then I'll put a picture here of the finished pieces of leather with all of their color discolorations and water spots and all of that. Keep in mind the camera doesn't always pick everything up. Just looking at these, but with the 2 coats of Openoffs, then water spots, then cleaning and reapplying, I see a real good result. The Mink Oil, not as good. Phoebe's, I also see a real pretty good result. But again, I wasn't great with my scientific process, but it's there. These are just some initial observations. The takeaway on this is all the products except saddle soap worked adequately. But remember, you need to wipe off whatever you get on your bag right away. The leather honey works really well as a cleaner for these types of spots, and then reapply your protector of choice. Saddle soap, don't bother. And then don't use these on the rougher textured leathers like saddleback leather. What prompted this experiment is that I have this Madewell bag that's all natural leather. They said it was Vaqueta leather on the website when I purchased it, but I haven't been carrying it because I've been afraid of hand sanitizer. I got this right before COVID hit, and then we all started carrying and using sanitizer, and I was afraid what even just a drop of that would do to this bag. And then I was at the flea market recently, and somebody was carrying a bag like this. It looked horrible. It didn't have this golden color. It was like brown, and it just didn't look good at all. I really started thinking, I need to protect this with something, but what do I use to keep the rich color, but keep it from staining? So I think what I'm going to do is on the bottom of the bag, I will probably test Openoffs and Beeswax and see what happens. Maybe by the time I publish this video, I'll have that done. Like I said, I've been working on this for a month. I'm ready to make the video and move on to something else. If I have any updates about how it worked with the bag, I'll let you know. I guess the main points that are the takeaways on this is number 1, don't use saddle soap. Number 2, wipe off every stain quickly. And number 3 is, actually number 1 should be protect it. Put something on it. Okay, so that's the wrap up. I hope there's something there you can use. Basically, everything worked well except the saddle soap. We'll see you next time. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.